Hello, I'm Jake Tucker, and I'm going to be talking about A New England Nun. And to start this, I want to talk about how deceptively simple the plot of A New England Nun is. I felt like if you took all the plot points of the book and listed them, it couldn't only take up half a page. There's very little that happens, but within the 11 pages of the story, there's a lot of density that really lets the reader know who these two main characters are without necessarily telling the reader directly. So for like Louisa Ellis, right? You know her as this orderly, clean, almost a perfectionist with her day-to-day life, and she has complete control over this like little sphere, her home and what she does. And she kind of cleans that. She makes that little sphere as perfect as possible for her. And there's all these great little quotes that kind of show that. Like when she's making tea, she's picking the tea leaves. She says she looks sharply at the grass to see if any of the tea leaves had fallen there. Like just these little spare tea leaves that she's so focused on getting out. Or how the fact that she uses china every day and she has this elaborate dinner that she makes for herself. Or the fact that she has all these different aprons and dresses for depending on what she's doing, if she's sewing, or someone's coming to visit. It's all very particular, and it's clear that she's polished her own little life as clean as she can. There's a quote of her having pride in how clean her windows are and how they gleam like diamonds, right? Everything is as perfect as she can make it. And then the story does the same thing for Joe. They show him to be this good-natured, larger-than-life figure. Like when he walks in a room, he takes it up, or he's the only one who sees that Louis's dog is really harmless, and he goes and pets it and says he should be let out more. Just very small details that let you know who these characters are in a very short amount of time. And I think that's true for the story itself. There's this short version of the story about Joe Daggett coming home and seeing Louise, and then the love is not necessarily there anymore, but they both prod along until Louise overhears Joe talking to another girl, and then she does him the favor of ending things, both for their own benefit, right? But I think the story kind of gives hints about why the characters are like how they are now with each other, and then also gives hints about what they were like when they first got engaged. And I think that's done through the clever use of these kind of animal metaphors that each of them have. So Joe Daggett, right? I think his animal embodiment is the dog. That is this great big hound that has been chained up and hasn't been let loose to go have, it seems like, traditional adventures and fun and stuff like that. And it's told that the dog bit somebody when it was younger, and that's why it's been chained up. And I think that is calling to the fact that maybe Joe was with Louise when he was younger, and then he was then forced to marry her as she was with him. And I think my proof of that is how Louise describes her mother when she says her mother was remarkable for her cool sense and sweet, even temperament. And then she falls to say that she had rightfully counseled Louise to marry Joe when he asked her. So the use of even temperament to me means that it's almost like she was able, in a cool sense, she was able to see what had happened, that they had slept together, as it said in the story. And I'm sure at this time, if that happens, you have to marry the person if you're then caught. So it's like Joe is this dog who has made a mistake and then has been chained up for it his entire life. And then Louise, on the other hand, is this bird that when Joe comes home is furiously beating against the cages of her prison, right? She's trapped and she's freaking out, which I took to either mean more literally where Louise herself is very comfortable in her prison and she just doesn't want to leave, and this is the embodiment of the thing that will take her out of it, or it's Louise's own like she's built up this wall around her, potentially because of the death of her brother and her mother, and the fact that Joe, it seems, pretty much broke her heart by being gone for so long. And she's just rejected feeling anything towards anyone, or doesn't want to let herself out, even of her own home, and experience the world as afraid of being hurt again. And it's in her own way, it's also showing how she's been trapped in this betrothal to Joe and hasn't been able to escape it.